welcome back to another studio vlog, except today's not really a studio vlog because we are getting out of the studio and we are going to go paint at the park. This is actually the first time I've ever painted anywhere but my studio, so it'll be a fun little experiment. I'm a little nervous to paint in public, but we'll hopefully be able to find a little secluded park bench or something. We're going to be painting in a new sketchbook. We're also going to be trying out some new supplies, which I love to do. And I'm getting to partner with Princeton on this video for an amazing giveaway. If you are watching this video, I'll put the dates up on screen. If you're watching it between these dates, then you'll actually have a chance to win all of the supplies that I talk about in the video. And if you're watching it after the dates, it'll still be a fun little vlog. We're going to paint outside, paint at the park. I'll talk a little bit about my painting process and also share some more about these awesome supplies. All the giveaway details will be in the caption as well as on my Instagram and the Princeton Instagram account. But yeah, I want to talk about some of the supplies that we'll be using today. The first is this travel brush kit from Princeton. It's the Neptune brushes. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know how much I love the Neptune brushes. They're my go-to brushes, especially for loose florals. And I've never actually tried the travel kit because I never travel to paint, and I have the full-size brushes here in my studio, but we're gonna use them today. Let me show you what they look like. They come in this nice kind of leathery case. It's almost like a wallet size. And we have a size 4, 6, 8, and 10. This is what they look like all in their little case. The second thing that you'll also have a chance to win if you do the giveaway is this Jenna Rainey watercolor set that is from MaimeriBlu. And I actually just squeezed some of these colors out into an empty old watercolor tin of mine, just so that I didn't have to bring all the individual tubes with me to the park today. But that is that. And then the last thing is this watercolor sketchbook from Canson. It might take me a little getting used to because it is not 100% cotton paper, but that's okay. I think that the sketchbook is a perfect place to have student grade paper because sketchbooks are a place to just experiment and try new supplies, try new techniques. I'm actually excited to give this a try. Enough talking, let's pack up our bag and then head on over to the park. All right, so here's what I'm gonna bring with me. First is, of course, the sketchbook. I'm gonna bring this old palette tin with the new MaimeriBlu Jenna Rainey paints in them. Of course, the Neptune Princeton travel brush kit, a paper towel, a jar of water. I'm just using an old spaghetti sauce jar, and a pencil if I want to do any sketching before I start painting. And then some other stuff I'm bringing is a little towel to sit on, a water bottle. Of course, it's mid-80s today, so that's a must. So now let's head over to the park. All right, we made it to the park. Like I said, I have never painted outside my studio before, so I'm a little scared, not scared, but just nervous to paint in front of people. I'm hoping we'll be able to just find a little secluded bench that we can set up at. It's also very windy today, so I'm curious how that's going to affect drying times of the paint and all that. So I guess we'll find out, but let's go see if we can find a good spot to set up. I ended up finding a perfect spot. It was a picnic table all to myself. It was partially shaded, and it actually ended up not being too windy. It was a little bit windy, but not too bad. And I decided to paint some orange slices and some leaves. I don't know why I've been so into painting fruit recently, but that's what I decided to go with. The sketchbook was actually surprisingly a lot easier to work with than I thought. It did take a little getting used to, just because I'm not used to painting on this type of paper. I haven't done it in a while, but still worked great, especially as you can see here, just adding some texture onto the orange slice, using the wet on dry technique. There's our little bug friend that decided to join. There were so many bugs running around the table, but it's all good. I also really loved this orange color that I was able to mix using the two different pink and red colors with the primary yellow It turned out to be a really beautiful color, and same with the green. I mixed a good mix of all the different colors. Basically, I used the Prussian blue, a little bit of the green gold, some of the primary yellow, and then I added some of the pink in there as well to tone it down a little bit, and ended up with a really beautiful color that was perfect for these orange leaves. Here's another little bug friend that kept running around on the paper and on the palette. Lots of little critters running everywhere. And just as I expected, the Neptune brushes were absolutely amazing. They work just like the full-size brushes. They hold so much water. I barely have to dip the brush back into my paint well because the bristles just hold so much water, which makes it really, really easy to work with. And also had some little birdies join me on the table too. I was actually really pleasantly surprised here as I added the final layers on top of the leaves with how well the sketchbook paper worked. I have only really practiced layering on 100% cotton paper, which is a lot easier to do, but this paper actually handled the layers really well, which made it fun to work with. And I was able to really build up some depth on these leaves by adding 2 to 3 layers of that green pigment. And a moment for the brushes. They are so beautiful. Not only do they work really well, but they are stunning, especially in the sunlight. And I especially love that they are so well protected. So when you're done painting, you just pop that cap off of the end, stick it back in, and it's fully protected. So you can toss it in your bag, you can put it in a suitcase or a carry-on bag, and you know those bristles are gonna stay nice and safe. All right, we made it back to the car. It was a little too windy out there to use the microphone or talk throughout the painting process, but it was a good time. Found a great spot, had a nice little park bench to myself. It was really good. I really liked the supplies. The sketchbook was great. The paints were great. I could mix up a lot of great colors with the paints that are included in that MaimeriBlu set, and the travel brushes were amazing. So overall, very successful. I do want to try painting some florals when I get back home, just because I always use the Neptune brushes for loose florals, and the orange illustration was a little bit of a tighter painting, so I want to make sure they work well in the loose style too. And I also want to use the bigger brushes because I just used the size 4 and 6 for the little orange painting, so I'll use the bigger ones. But let's go back home and try that in the comfort of our studio. All right, we're back in the studio, and it's actually a few hours later, so it's starting to get dark outside, so apologies for the weird lighting here in the studio. But like I said, I want to give the 2 bigger brushes a try from that Neptune travel set, and I also realized I never swatched the colors for you in the Maimeri watercolor set. So we're gonna do that first, and then we'll use the bigger brushes to try out some loose florals, and then we'll wrap up this video. Okay, so again, here are all the colors that are included in this watercolor set. The first is primary yellow, so here's the swatch for that. And then we have permanent red light, quinacridone red, green gold, Prussian blue, and carbon black. So those are all the colors straight from the tube, and then as always, you can mix, get different colors, different values. That orange that you saw that I painted at the park, that was using a mixture of the yellow and the reds. And then of course you can get so many different shades of green by mixing the blues and the yellows with a little bit of red. Also using the green gold, there's just so many different variations. So those are all the colors included in this watercolor set. Now let's try painting some florals. Just as I expected, the large brushes work just as good as the full-size brushes, especially for loose florals. They hold so much water, which is the reason why I love them so much for loose florals. So 10 out of 10 on the travel brushes, 10 out of 10 on the paints. I absolutely love them. They're beautiful on their own, but as you saw, you can also mix a bunch of different great colors with them. And 10 out of 10 on the travel sketchbook. Again, if you're a die-hard 100% cotton paper fan like I usually am, it might take some getting used to because it is student grade, but as I said before, it's perfect for sketchbooking and just practicing and swatching colors and having fun. But if you do want that more professional final piece, then I would go for a 100% cotton one. But it was great to paint in today. So that's it for today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for my first ever outdoor painting experience. I had fun, I hope you did too. Again, I'll put the dates up on screen for the giveaway. So if you are watching this video within those dates, you'll have a chance to win the sketchbook, the paint set, and the travel brush set. Again, all the details for that giveaway are in the caption, as well as my Instagram account. You can find me at Petals by Priya. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.